Hello, Pile. I guess we're going to call you the Crystal Ball Kitties. We have this beautiful little cat that's got his little crystal ball with a fish in it. It's so cute. I really love that cat so much. All right. And then we had the tiger eye stone. They were all tiger eyes, but some of them were just different shaped. So I think this one is very nice. I think this was my first one, actually, which is really cool. So we're going to have those off to the side. I'm going to be using a cat tarot deck, and we are going to start off with looking at how you present yourself to the world. And we're going to be working on a ton of self-discovery in this, and a lot of this is going to be looking at how we are perceived and how we think we're being perceived. There's a lot of perception that's going to be happening within this spread. And we're just going to start with how you think you're presenting yourself to the world. This one. Ooh, the Seven of Fire. All right. So our Seven of Fire here, we have two different kind of people, but immediately my eye draws to this main character here. This like attacking cat. In the lore of this card, I guess you could say, there is the idea that this cat is actually defending its territory. So this particular cat is actually being considered in the right, I guess. So it's a little bit more just, and sometimes this card can feel a little like it's sometimes it feels like you're being attacked, but I think really what you're thinking is that you're strong, you're defensive, you're fighting for what you believe in, you truly believe that what you're doing is correct. And that's how you try to present to the world, is that yes, I am doing what is correct. I am fighting for the things I believe in. Maybe you're a little more aggressive, potentially looking at some leadership and looking at, it's just like a stronger power, but it doesn't feel loud. It feels like when you need to be called on, you know how to use that power, if that makes sense. And hence that cat that is more defending its land here, defending its territory. That is the vibe. It feels like you were called upon because you need to, and then everything is in the right. So, all the spirits are helping you out with this, which is wonderful. All right. We're going to go into, though, how others and the world kind of sees you, though. Because sometimes we think one thing that we're presenting, and then we're presenting something else, actually. And we have the Nine of Sky. Ooh, an aggressive card. I think sometimes what you are thinking is this silent strength, is actually kind of being a little bit more disparaging, pessimistic, and a bit more frustrating. We have a lot of things in here, like this cat is like having nightmares is kind of the idea. And so I'm not saying that you're being a nightmare, but I think there's what you think is being a quiet strength is actually being a very aggressive and is following people in ways that they don't want. You're not helping yourself make friends, if that makes sense. Now that's kind of more distant relations. I do want to see how people close to you are viewing you. And they are looking at you with a Ten of Earth, which is wonderful. So, okay, so we kind of have this almost like hard exterior, it seems, and then we kind of, everybody around you just knows that you're doing your thing and you're established, you know what's going on. You're kind of in this almost like lap of luxury, in the sense of like, they think of you as somebody who's successful and has already gotten everything they need and is well established. Whether you feel like you are in that position, I'm assuming not, because that Seven of Fire energy is not somebody who's done with what they're doing. You're still doing all the work. You're still fighting for the fight. You're still believing in your cause. And this Ten of Earth suggests that everybody else thinks you've accomplished your task. everybody else is like, yeah, you've done what you need to do. And you're like, no, actually, I have not. I'm still working on it. I think that's also why that some people are probably in this Nine of Sky moment of, especially when they first meet you, is because you are fighting for what you believe in. You are aggressively, making sure that what you stand for is well known and everybody is aware of, kind of a thing. And you're never going to let people just get by without they're not going to find out later that you stand for something and disagree with you. You're going to be off the bat like, no, this is a thing I am passionate about and I believe in, and this is a thing that, this is very important to me. And I think that's really important with this particular card, that the Nine of Sky is kind of that firecracker moment of like, you're loud and in everybody's face, and a lot of people take that as a negative thing, but like when they start to realize, oh, actually, this isn't so negative. This is just your kind of personality. And they realize you're just very passionate. You're very involved and very in deep within this. Nothing wrong with that. And if you're like, hey, hold on, what am I fighting for? It's different for everyone. And sometimes people are going to be your quiet disposition doesn't allow for people to understand that your loud passion. So you might be some people might think you're a little stoic and a little standoffish, but it's actually that you're just shy. That can be the case sometimes. All right. I do want to move into how you see yourself, which is really important. Because you try to present yourself as this Seven of Fire, but this very strong person, but do you actually see yourself that way? Is that how you truly think you exist as? Ooh, the Two of Earth. Okay. Balancing things is important to you. I think sometimes we successfully and sometimes unsuccessfully do that. And how do you feel about your adaptability? If you're journaling along, if you've, got your journal out and everything and you're pausing and, writing stuff down as the cards come out, this is one that I would like sit and think about what in your life you are adapting to or balancing, what kind of different things are important to you, especially if you're presenting a bit more strong, trying to balance that with kindness and compassion and because your strength can still be compassionate. Your power can still be compassionate. Everything can still be kind and nice. But it doesn't necessarily have to be unjust, if that makes sense. I think you're really fighting for the good things, but you're not necessarily coming off in the best way, which can be frustrating. And if you're curious of why these cards are spread out the way they are, is that we are making a little kitty. We have the head, the tail, and the two legs, and we'll be adding 2 more cards for the body. But I'm interested in this card. And I'm interested in all of these cards because this is such an interesting combo to me, because what parts of you do you feel like need to be balanced out? Like, how are you seeing yourself, and do you see yourself as balanced? Especially on this tail. Oh, I always think of cats' tails constantly twitching. They're not like sitting still ever. And unless they're like curled up to sleep kind of a thing. And sometimes even then I feel like the little tips twitch. And this is one of those things where I'm like, it feels like that kind of mobility, that adaptability that this is a bit more talking about rather than the balance. But there is still something about balance here that is very important. And I think that balance of emotions and stuff in this is where that's coming from. I do want to look at the essence of who you actually are. Like, at your core, who are you? And it's kind of fun that this card is where it is, because it's like right on the heart, and that is the Four of Fire. And the Four of Fire is this lovely card of wanting a home to be safe, wanting, relationships to be good, particularly in a partnership, if like a romantic partnership. We are looking at just like a stable place to be, and you like having the essence of home. And I think that's what you're fighting for, if nothing else. Like, you're fighting for your safe space. What does that mean to you? For some of you, you knew exactly what you were fighting for right from the beginning. You're fighting for other people's safe space, maybe your own, whatever. And for some of you, this might all of a sudden now click that, oh, my safe space is, or what is my safe space, or what do you desire your safe space to be? I would ask yourself these questions, start looking into those questions and seeing what are you hoping for out of this to make yourself better. Our last question I want to ask is how you can free yourself to be truly you. I think this is the best card for, or the best introspection, how you can free yourself to be truly you. I think this is a card that's going to be kind of a rough one. Oh yeah, a priest. Okay. So this is a card of leaning on others, in my opinion. It can be looking for that. The word is escaping me. The mentor. That's what I'm looking for. This is a time of looking for your mentor and asking them for advice. This is not a time to I mean, introspection is also good. For those of you with a spiritual practice, this is a really good time to lean into that and listen and be aware and willing to receive messages, even if they're rough, they're hard ones to receive. The priest suggests to me that you are having to fight this fight in a system that may be a little bit against what you would like to do, or maybe you have to kind of work within whatever parameters there are right now, and that can be really frustrating. But the thing is that you can do so much good work, and particularly with freeing yourself here, I think allowing yourself the moment to breathe and grow with other people is really important. We have no cup cards here, no water cards, which I am feeling their absence. It feels like the emotional side and the relationships that can come in with that are kind of being pushed to the side and not as important because you're trying to fight this solo. And I think this priest is a good reminder of, hey, there's others who have done this before you, who know what's going on and know how to best do this. Take their advice, take their wisdom, learn from them, because they know what to do here. They know what's coming and how to best, prepare. So this isn't a fight you have to do by yourself. This isn't, you don't have to stand by yourself to the world all on your own. It's opening yourself up. I think there's also just kind of an overall, I don't want to say negative energy, but like an overall like pessimistic or closed off energy of like, I can't trust anyone. And I don't think you're wrong in your reasoning in the sense of like, hey, past, relationships have hurt. I think you're right. They have, and it sucks. But to move forward, we have to realize that we have to trust again. And sometimes it's just being a little pickier or being a bit more careful, but it's also, not giving 100% of that trust right away. But it is also having to be able to be like, yes, I can trust again. And that can be so hard. So I think in this particular spread, for those of you who have been trying to figure out what are we discovering today? I think we've discovered what needs to have balance in your life, which I think is the emotional and how are you doing with friendships and stuff. It's hard work. It's a lot of work, but it's good, important work. And I think that's what's really necessary here. I'm very curious about your thoughts down, if you're willing to share them in the comments below, or if this even resonated with you. If it did, if you don't mind putting a little crystal ball emoji in the chat, or in the comments, not the chat, to let me know that, hey, yep, stuff resonated. I really liked this. Or if you didn't, I would love to hear about that as well. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today. This one was a quick one. It was like really concise for you guys today. So things were really clear about like, hey, yep, you present really strong, but at the core you want a really safe place to be. Now is the time to turn to mentorships, but that's not probably your most comfortable place, and balancing that's going to be a bit of a thing. But you need to be careful about the cold exterior that others are getting, and that everybody else thinks that you're just fine. And I don't think you are. I let me actually come back to that, because this 10 of Earth, I know at the beginning I was like, oh, it feels like you're established. No, it feels like you're just fine. Everybody thinks you're okay. Everybody thinks you're fine, and that nothing is to worry about, even though you really do have things to worry about. So, yeah, thank you for letting me read for you. I'm moved, because like sometimes readings just have such a clear, concise message, and this one really did. So I'm excited to hear feedback if you're willing to give me some. Otherwise, I hope the rest of your day is magical, and I get to see you in another video.